Well, it looks like we are seeing a pretty warm day out there that we had earlier today. Plenty of sunshine, but then it was hazy sunshine as we still have a little bit of that Saharan dust layer moving in across South Florida. You see the moon rising, full moon out there on the beaches. It's a beautiful night, but it looks like it's a warm one. Temperatures about 82 in Fort Pierce, 83 Port St. Lucie, Jupiter right now 84 degrees, West Palm 85. Even at this hour with that southeasterly flow, with that humidity and heat, it still feels like in the 90s from Stewart down through West Palm.
Turning now to weather, our chief meteorologist Vytas Reid joining us right now. Vytas, another pretty day out there. Let's hope it'll look like that tomorrow.
Yeah, we saw a pretty nice day out there, warm temperatures, and as we go through the overnight, looking at mild temperatures in the 70s right now, 75 and Delray Beach, stretching up through Boynton Beach, Lantana coming in 74, moving up through West Palm 76 degrees, Jupiter 75, up around Hope Sound, stretching up through Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce about 73 to 71 degrees, around Lake Okeechobee right in those low 70s as well.
The check of the forecast, our chief meteorologist Vytas Reid is joining us right now. Here we are heading into a holiday.
Oh yeah, and what do you do on the holiday? This beach will probably be full along with many other beaches across the area. Looking at hot temperatures, perfect conditions to get in the pool or be outdoors, but make sure you drink plenty of water and use that sunscreen. We have a chance for maybe a little pop-up shower or thunderstorm, but it looks like most of that activity is going to be moving inland, especially for tonight. And then for tomorrow's forecast with 4th of July, the fireworks, I think it's looking pretty good. We are going to continue to see pretty quiet conditions as we're going through the overnight. Those temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s. Fort Pierce, 71 degrees, 72 in Stewart, 69 Royal Palm Beach. Looking at West Palm at 73, 72 in Jupiter. And it looks like a little bit breezy out there as we're seeing mainly dry conditions on storm track radar. Nothing to see here, but I'm watching what our next weather maker is, and it's firing off some severe storms in East Texas where they've seen a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings and active tornado warnings at this time. This area of low pressure will track across the southern portion of the country, giving us a chance for some unsettled weather as we get towards late Wednesday night into Thursdays. And then as you're going up just north of Riviera Beach, up north of Lake Park, these areas, the A1A, getting some heavy downpours of rain. Also, we have some hail in this storm, lots of vivid lightning. Take a look at these lightning strikes active as you see the tornado warning stretching all the way over towards North Palm Beach and also north of Palm Beach Gardens. So if you're in this region here, you do need to definitely move away from your exterior windows and doors and move to interior portion of your house. Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at it now. This is a live video showing a tornado on the ground just west of Wellington. Take shelter immediately. I cannot stress it any more. Take shelter immediately. If you are in the path of this storm, you will have damage in your home. You may be killed from this. We're talking about a death situation. Take shelter immediately. This is a live image of the actual tornado touching down right here. If we have both open up right now, this is the actual tornado. We have an update coming in right now. This is the Beeline Highway, and we have PGA Boulevard, and this is just near North Lake. He's looking north as this actual tornado's on the ground. What are these roads that are coming in? We can see here what's next in line. Folks should be taking shelter immediately. This is a tornado emergency for Palm Beach County. Inward flow that's coming across. You can see here the direction that we're going to see most of that energy. So if you did a cross section, a lot of this area got a lot of the tornado warnings one after another with all that vorticity and velocity and upper air winds that are pulling on this and wind shear. But nonetheless, it created a lot of spinning motion in the atmosphere to help create these tornadoes. And then you get that strong southerly wind. We had a strong southerly wind coming up out of the south that helped create that rotation.
Begin our team coverage tonight with our chief meteorologist Vytas Reid with that 11 p.m. track, the advisory from the Hurricane Center just out.
Yeah, and we do have some changes with the storm, but little changes as we take a look at the strength of the storm adjusting a bit. But still, the west coast of the state does look like it's in its crosshairs of a landfall. So here's the latest information from the National Hurricane Center. Still a Category 5 hurricane along the Yucatan Peninsula, moving east at 9 miles per hour, winds at 165 miles per hour, gusting to 200. Still a dangerous storm. It's coming into contact with some of the coastline of the northern edge of the Yucatan. So that's why it's going to have a little bit of friction, lose a little bit of those winds, but still it's going to continue to be a strong one as it continues to head eastward.
Chief Meteorologist Vytas Reid is joining us now. And Vytas, should we expect a lot of rain in the coming days?
Well, we're going to get some rain bands that push through. Some may bring some heavy downpours, and the ground's saturated from previous rain events, so you could get some standing and ponding water in a very quick time frame as we're going to continue to see this Category 1 become even stronger, and the forecast has it potentially becoming a Category 4 storm in the next 36 hours to 48 hours. So
Chief Meteorologist Vytas Reid joining us now. And Vytas, this storm is not done yet.
yeah, still going to drop a lot of rain, and one of the reasons it's a slow mover. When you have those slow movers out there, they can really drench an area, and we're going to continue to see this be a problem from northeast Florida, southeast Georgia, and parts of the Carolinas. So let's talk about that landfall this morning. Once again, we're looking at that landfall of Debby earlier this morning, right around 7 a.m. near Steinhatchee, Florida, with winds at 80 miles per hour. Category 1 hurricane, central pressure at 979 millibars.
Chief Meteorologist Vytas Reid was watching that tornado unfold overnight.
And he was tracking the storm from our Weather Authority Center. Vytas joins us now live in Stevensville to explain how the storm developed so quickly. Vytas.
Yeah, you know, after the show, we had thunderstorms all over the area, but once I got home, there was a really strong cell around the D.C. area really developing. I actually called the National Weather Service and asked them, is there rotation in this storm? This is when it was over Bowie, and they said there's strong rotation in this cell, and it's making its way towards the Chesapeake, could become a waterspout, and then it's heading towards Kent Island. At that point, I took off my pajamas, put on my pants, came back to the station and started tracking that storm. I notified the management and also Jonathan Myers, told him, hey, get ready to come in because we may have a tornado here. Once I got through the heavy rain on 295, I got into the station and started doing Facebook Live. All the viewers were kind of watching, hearing about the lightning and thunder, and that was really active going on. Then all of a sudden we had that tornado warning issued, and we went live, covered coverage from the beginning of that tornado from about 1:30 until 2 a.m. And this is the damage and the destruction what you see. Take a look at this. We're looking at a deck that is supposed to be on someone's house, on the back of the house. That flew all the way across this parking lot from this side where there's a missing deck over on this side. Take a look as you follow me here from some of the destructive damage of an EF2 strength. We're talking about 111 mile-an-hour winds up to 138 mile-an-hour winds, busting out these windows. Just the pressure, just busting these windows out, throwing glass or shards of glass is so dangerous when that occurs. Watch our step here. There's a lot of dangerous nails and everything out here. We're looking at a rooftop. This is the roof that belongs on those houses there where someone was sleeping in that room right there where there is no roof. All the ceiling came down on them. Luckily, they walked out of that damaged house and they are okay. Let's follow over here. This rooftop that you see here belongs on a brand new building that's on the other side of this development, which we have that flew down into this area with all the winds. We can see that this wood, this 2x4s, have been snapped in half. These have been totally snapped in half. The strength of the storm throwing this debris around. When we talk about taking shelter, the reason why is because this becomes missiles and it can go through a windshield. So let's take a look at this car real quick. Look at this windshield has been damaged as something flew through and busted out this window. So once again, coming live out here in Stevensville where we had an EF2 tornado touchdown causing immense damage on this neighborhood. Thank goodness nobody has been more than injured. There was a few slight injuries, but no deaths reported from this storm. I'm CBS 12 Chief Meteorologist Vytas Reid in West Palm Beach, Florida. Less than 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene's Florida landfall, Hurricane Milton also made landfall along the Florida's Gulf Coast as a Category 3 hurricane. But instead of heading north, it cut a path straight across the state with hurricane-force winds. There was widespread flooding and power outages across Florida. The powerful winds ripped the roof off Tampa's Tropicana field, and then there were dozens of tornadoes that started the day before Milton made landfall. The outbreak was one of the biggest in state history. Families here along the Treasure Coast lost everything.
Turning now to weather, it is a beautiful evening tonight and sunset, but Vytas, we have some storms coming.
Yeah, it looks like we'll get some rough weather potentially tomorrow late afternoon, evening. There's a few storms out there now, Liz, on the other side of Lake Okeechobee, but for the most part, looks pretty nice. Taking a look at Juno Beach, it looks like we're seeing beautiful sunshine as the camera's moving here. You can see over towards the pier. A lot of folks out there enjoying some of the beach and some surfers out there getting in the waves, and it looks like we're seeing very warm temperatures, and that will be the case for tomorrow as well. 80 in Stewart, 80 up towards Vero Beach, Fort Pierce 82 degrees, Jupiter and Hobe Sound right around 81 degrees. Royal Palm Beach at 83, 82 in Boynton, and over towards Okeechobee, 83 degrees. It looks like that line of thunderstorms that has caused all kind of problems stretching from Texas and Oklahoma 2 days ago, a day ago, over towards New Orleans, causing tornadic damage downtown in the city of New Orleans. And then we've seen a lot of activity across southern Georgia and parts of Florida as we've gone through the evening hours. So we have a lot of lightning off the coast from Tampa right now. As I zoom this in on Storm Track radar, you can see looking west, a lot of activity that will be pushing into the Tampa Clearwater area over the next couple of hours. But back here in our side of the state, we're seeing a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms lining up. If you look in the western skyline, you'll probably see those showers and thunderstorm tops. But for the most part, we're seeing along the I-95 corridor relatively quiet still. Some of you folks up there in the Treasure Coast might get a few spotty showers in the next about hour and a half to 2 hours. So if you're heading out this evening, have the umbrella with you because you probably may see a brief shower. For tomorrow, the storm threat is low, but nonetheless, there is a threat as we're seeing isolated storms, marginal risk for storms popping up as that front continues to move south. So we're looking up towards Indian River and up north of that and northwestern portions of Okeechobee County for that marginal risk, but we have general thunderstorm activity potentially across areas south of Vero Beach, stretching through Stewart down through West Palm, these areas, and that is going to be timing out right around 1 till about 10 o'clock tonight as that front is pushing through. The main threat are some strong storms. Risk is isolated, and it looks like torrential downpours with some of those thunderstorms as they develop. Isolated wind gusts 30 to 50 miles per hour, frequent lightning as this activity moves through. So let's time it out for you hour by hour. Tonight, there's the storms that are moving up into the Treasure Coast about 9:30, pushing through, then clear out. Here comes the cool front as it continues to push down out of the north. 8 a.m. still north of us, a southerly flow, but there goes those storms popping up at 2 o'clock. And then we still see through your evening rush hour, 4 p.m., the front's going to continue to move through by about 9 or 10 o'clock. Gets breezy behind it, and we can still see a few trailing showers behind it. So we're looking at a storm track weather impact day yellow. Main threats, those gusty winds, heavy downpours of rain. Your 10-day forecast coming up.